stomach. Good morning. My stomach is growling already this morning. It's so funny. I turned on the camera and it just growled. Hope everybody's having a good Friday so far. I'll just turn it down a little bit. Okay. All right. It's Friday. So we're going to do our last cookie for this week on our groovy cookie set. Tomorrow will be Mr. Skeleton Face, who's super cute. So he kind of fits along with this theme and kind of goes into next week's theme, which next week we're just going to work on, I'm going to say characters. I think these are just some characters of Halloween. So I'm excited about that. All right. So today, I noticed my camera is so crooked. What happened there? Okay. I wonder why that did that. Okay. Peace out, right? To this week, right, Jan? Peace out. It's the first week of October, and we're done with you, right? All right. So today we're going to work on this little skeleton hand, and he is, I don't know, I just like this. I know it's probably not totally Halloween, but I thought he went with our groovy set, and I just thought of like peace out on Friday, like we're done with you. So this is a hand cut. This image was from off of Etsy. It's literally everywhere. But this is just a piece out. So the way that I'm going to do this one is kind of the way we've done all the ones this week. I did make transfers. So I'll show you those. Obviously, I flooded this with that dark purple. Is hand cut. But I went through and basically took a piece of parchment paper, put it over top of my image that I hand cut. And then I just piped on the bones, kind of moving my parchment paper so they didn't touch each other. And I tried to pipe them in the way that I would lay them out so that I could like keep it in line because all the bones are really tiny. So I did pipe it on the way that it's kind of laid out on the hand, and that way it's a little bit easier. The trick with this at this point in time is just figuring out where to put the bones on, like where to start with the bones when you get it on the cookie. So that is a little bit more challenging. On here you can see, this image that I used is a little smaller, which is fine. So my fingers are in my bones and stuff are going to be a little bit smaller on that. So it's okay. It's just trying to figure out where it goes. That's kind of the more challenging part. But if you pipe it like this, where they're kind of in order and you have your image close to you, you should be able to place them and, keep it in line. I am going to try something different with these transfers though. I don't want to have to put icing on them because you see some of these are super duper tiny, right? Some of these little phalanges are super, super tiny. So I don't want to have to put icing on such a tiny, hi Pam. I don't want to put it on such a tiny little space because it might it might break. It might be hard to get it on there. So you could do that if you had a really small cut bag. So if it doesn't work this way that I'm hoping it will work, then I will rebag my white and do it. But I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper and I'm going to take some regular glaze icing. This is that white that we used yesterday for the windshield. And I'm going to take it and just squirt some on my little piece of parchment paper. And I'm going to take some water, maybe like 2 or 3 drips to start with. And you could do this in a container if you want, like a snack container or something, or those fun little cookie countess black silicone dishes that I love. But I just wanted to create kind of a really thin blob of icing here that I can use to just basically dip the bones in and then put them on. So obviously I have a pair of tweezers. So whatever bones that I'm working with, I can just take them and dip them and then put them on. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of take some of these bones. I already tried to take them off. There we go. And I just want to do the first fingers. So, and they're not as fragile as you think they are. I have another pair of tweezers that I really love, but I can't find them, and it's super frustrating because they're like my favorite tweezers. They're white, and I can't find them anywhere. I don't know where they are. Okay, and then I'm gonna lay out this one. 'Cause I think once we get these laid out, then the rest of the hand, should fall into place. I don't know about you, but whenever I work like this, I feel like I'm playing the game of Operation. Ah, don't buzz me. Okay, so we've got that, and then the thumb will come across here. Fingers will be underneath. It's also nice to have your picture, like, or even if you had it on your phone, it's just nice because I can see exactly which fingers are on top, which are underneath, which are even lower, so that I can place them on according to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. So let's hope that this works. It's a little too thin. Maybe I just need to be a little bit. So I'm gonna take that one off, and I'm going to take a paintbrush and get this off real quick. Okay. So maybe it needs to not be so. We're going to try. I'm going to add a little bit of icing to it so that maybe it just needs to be thickened up just a little bit. So maybe not so much water. Maybe instead of 3 drops, it just needed like a drop. Royal icing would probably be better here also in this situation just because it works better thin. I think I can also just kind of like wipe it off a little bit. I think that will help. The true test will be if I can pull these off later. So I'll let you know. Obviously, we don't wanna put something on the cookie that, yeah, that isn't, like, sticking. That's what I'm a little afraid of. That's okay if you drop them like that, because all you have to do is take your paintbrush. Ooh, it's windy outside. Okay, so that one right there is not sticking, so we're going to take our little bag. I think this bag is cut pretty small. It's always worth a try, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Could also just put icing on the cookie. Ideally, you should have done this. Let's say that to myself. Ideally, I should have just flooded this cookie on camera, and then you just lay them on. That's the whole point of doing transfers, is to make things go faster. But I think you guys have already heard me say that. I was trying to get prepped. Last week was a little crazy, so peace out. All right, so now I'm looking at the thumb covers these 2 fingers here, so these 2 would be the next 2 that I would put on because they are over top of the fingers, the middle bones. I should know those. So I can go ahead and put that one maybe like there, and that one there. I think that'll work because those are. Can you see my brain working? My brain going on that one. I got a little too much icing. You can also clean up any icing that you get on the sides, like right here. There's a little bit here. I can just take my scribe. So really having to put icing on them is not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. I can always I can always pull it up. I can always take a paintbrush as well and pull it up. All right, so now I know that this little one is going to go. Oh, this one's got to go then. See, this is why you have your image in front of you, because these have to go down too. Since the Addams Family is on. There we go. Okay. Looks good to me. Might be a little too spaced apart, but that's okay. So we got some fun plans this weekend. It's very chilly here today, as with the sweatshirt. I'm so excited that we finally have some cooler weather. So excited. So nice. Although I had to bring all my plants in. Again, it's like Operation. It's just like Operation. That one's going to go kind of there, up a little ways. It's going to go there. And this one's going to go here. There's another bone that's up here. Oh, that's so fun. Oh, Jan, you need to tell me. You didn't tell me that you got a new house. You left out that little detail. Do you see my brain just working real hard on this? If it doesn't work out, it's okay. This one is like right here. There's a bone that's in between here, so that's what I'm just trying to allow room. Now this one is stacked on top, so I would definitely put a little bit more on the back end here just to make sure that it actually is like resting. Remember we talked yesterday? Um, we talked yesterday about making sure that you have enough icing on them. So just make sure that you have enough icing. This one's going to go here. And then this one, see how it rests on this bone right here? So you definitely want to make sure that it's resting on there and not going to break. It might break, so just be real careful. Again, if you piped these on, ultimately you would like just pipe this on using your projector. I don't know if I would do this for an order. You know what I mean? I just don't know if I would. I would much rather just, especially if you're doing assembly line on these, like I would much rather just pipe these on with icing. It just would be a lot easier. I'm gonna go ahead and put that one down, and I'm gonna put that one down so that it's kind of there. Yeah, and if I were piping this, I've seen a stencil, so there are stencils out there that you can just scrape. Obviously, that would be so much easier. But this I thought was fun. So if you want to create like the dimension and that kind of stuff, then you can definitely create it with transfers. You could also just do it where you pipe on every other bone and the background bones come back a little bit later, do a few more, come back later, do a few more. So that's definitely the option as well. All right, so now we need to do the thumb, and I'm going to kind of work backwards on the thumb. Thumb is over top of this one. And then it's over top of this one. And then it kind of goes down to here. Oh, and Coffeeville, awesome. Maybe you did, Jan. Like I said, I apologize. Last week was kind of crazy. I lost my brain for a little while last week. So, okay, so that one needs to go kind of there and there. And then we'll put his little thumb there. Okay. Oh, it is windy. Now this little finger, this little phalange here is tiny. This one right here. So I'm just resting him here. I would, after maybe a little while, I might go back in and put some icing just around this area, but he's just going to be really fragile, and you're just going to have to be, careful with that one. Um, again, I don't think I would do this for clients. They're just a little too fragile to pipe on, but you can definitely still do it. You just need to do it when it's wet so that you don't have craters and so that it sticks to your icing. But for the magic of TV, we have to do it this way. Since the projector makes it quite crazy. Try to film it. Let's clean up some of that icing. You could also go back and paint these. The one thing I wish I would have got, I didn't even think about it, was some of those glow in the dark food gel things, food gel powder things. I think those would be really fun with this. Definitely think that would be a really nice little touch with this one. It's a pretty simple cookie, but to have those little powders, to have those would be really kind of cool. My hand is shaking all of a sudden. Okay, enough. Obviously, the stencil would be the easiest. Stencil would be the easiest way to do this if you wanted to. And honestly, those needed to be up a little bit. Okay. Let's try this again. So these needed to be up a little bit. And you could always add in more or drop it on the floor. One of the two. One of the two. It's more like the week is telling me to peace out. So I'll just pipe on that bone. I dropped it on the floor. I'm not gonna go down there and get it. So where did this one come from? I don't know where these came from. Maybe I can put that one there. Okay, it fits there. Maybe let's do this one here. Looks like a little roly-poly. A little roly-poly. Good Lord. Just when you think everything is going just fine. Jan, are you excited about moving? Excited about the new house? I would think you would be. Okay, I'm just going to put some pressure on that one just to make sure that it goes down. And you know what? I'm going to put this one up here. I'll put it right here to connect to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put the icing on there. And maybe we'll just kind of stick it right there. How cute. Okay, so I dropped that one bone down there, so I'm just going to pipe it on. This is detail glaze. So I'm just going to kind of pipe it on right there. And you could go back through if you wanted to, and you could pipe on any other little bones. I think I've gotten all of them, but if you wanted to put some other bones, I don't think anybody's going to be, too upset that you put extra bones in your hand. Less about moving, right? I think I've told you, like I've moved once. I mean, little ones here and there, but like move from like, not that you're moving states, but house to house, just once. So I sometimes wish we could move, but that's okay. All right, so we have kind of this space down here. If you wanted to connect your hand, you could, if you wanted to put more bones, maybe you could do like the arm bones. You have like a femur and ulna, ulnar radius, ulnar, whatever, something. It's been a long time since I studied those bones, but you could go ahead and connect those down if you wanted to. You could write peace out if you wanted to. I don't think my bag is got small enough that I can fit it on there. You could write spooky if you wanted to. You could write boo. But you could write whatever you wanted to, or just leave it. You could put a little pumpkin there. Let's see. Let me look up what hand looks like. Skeleton, hand, and arm. I'm afraid of what I'm about to say. Okay. Okay, so it's really just those two bones. That's really it. It has two like bigger bones here, or two other bones. If you're in the medical field, I apologize. This is probably a really butcher job of anatomy of hands. And then it's just the two bones that are in our arms. So they kind of curve out like this. Now, these are for sure going to crater 100%. I already know it. 100%. That's okay. They're bones. They're supposed to be textured and cratered and all the things, right? Okay. I know you told me about that, Pamela. I can't wait to see them because that's such a cute little theme. Like that little theme is super cute. Super, super cute. All right, so there's our peace out. It doesn't really look like peace out, but on the camera, but up close it does, or in person it does. Isn't that weird how sometimes cookies, when you are working on them, you're like, I don't know, it really looks like that. But when you see it here, it looks like it, but on camera, it's just kind of a jumbled mess. It's not really a promise. It looks pretty good. I like that. I like the rest of the hand too. So yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed this week. Tomorrow and Sunday will be just pre-recorded little tutorials, and then we'll be back on Monday with some really cute stuff. The cutters for next week are from almost all of them are from Kaleidacuts. Those are from her this time next week. So they're all super cute. So hope you guys join me next week, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy the cooler weather if you're having cooler weather, and I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.